for we're going to have each provider is going to do a presentation. Not going to really pick the order too much, so just the order that Josh set them out there. We can do Lane Powers from Southwest Arkansas.
Well, it was very exciting for the first, didn't it?
Let me get it on the screen up there.
We said we'd have to follow Stephanie, right? I can go first.
I told him we didn't want to go first.
That's not the right one.
Hey,
Sure, clicker up here.
He's got clicker. Need the lights.
Where?
The front one. The front light. No. There you go. The front one. Oh, other one. There you go. Now get the one. There you go. There you go. All right.
Okay, we'll straighten it out.
That's probably like 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah. And you got the clicker there.
All right. So, yes, my name is Lane Powers with Southwest Arkansas Telephone. We're a cooperative based in our area. We've been providing service to rural communities since 1951. Our traditional ILEC territory is as follows. We serve from Washington through Fulton, the rural areas in Miller County and Bloomberg, Texas, and then over in Columbia County, we're in Emerson, and we also have a little bit of service in Taylor, Arkansas, and a few routes through Hope and through Texarkana, which are really more strategic for our overall network build out and how we need to tie our network together. 6 of our 8 exchanges are currently 100% fiber to the home. We started a project in 2008 to shorten all of our loops. So traditional copper DSL service, 18,000-foot loops, 20,000-foot loops, that sort of thing. And we started a process in 2008 of going back and shortening those to 5,000 feet so we could move folks from 1.5 meg DSL to 20. And in the process of doing so, over time we adapted to the technology as it was changing and started doing fiber as part of that process. So the green shaded exchanges are currently completely fiber to the home today. The orange shaded areas are partially. Some routes that are already fiber to the home, so the northern portion of this and some specific areas in the Falk Exchange are already fiber to the home, and construction is ongoing. We've really not stopped having construction going since 2008. When I first started here in 2009, since then we've had 10 days that we didn't have construction going. So currently we have 170 route miles of fiber servicing our customers, with 69.8% of our customers served on fiber today. So when we started the mental transition from being a DSL provider, being a copper DSL provider, to fiber to the home, one of the first things that we had to deal with is our traditional business model, right? You know, you're selling DSL and maybe you're selling 10 meg down and 1 meg up. So we really spent a lot of time looking at that and switched our mindset a little bit. All of our services are symmetrical. So if you buy a 100 meg service from us, that's up and down. We don't have data caps. We have designed our network for high availability. We have northbound routes to Saranac and Chicago, and we also connect to Stevens and Dallas. And the one thing that I would say about Southwest Arkansas Telephone is we are a cooperative. So we're member owned, and our goal is to make sure that the folks in our areas have the same service availability as they would have in they live in downtown Dallas or Little Rock or anywhere else. So that's us. And that was not nowhere near 5 minutes.
It's impressive.
I could go back and start doing that.
So I guess next we'll have Stephanie Green or Scott, whoever's presenting, from Network USA.
Not sandwiches, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm good at feeding people, he's good at talking tech.
There you go.
We'll let it slide because of the sandwiches.
You got the control here, you can use the arrows and mouse.
First, I want to thank the Texarkana Area IT User Group for this opportunity to come here and speak about Network USA. Again, I'm Scott Foreman, I'm the engineering manager. A little bit about myself. Actually just joined the company in December of 2016, so me telling the history of the company is a bit of a stretch, but I'll do my best. I am an electrical engineer, graduate University of Louisiana Lafayette. Been in the industry for 16 years. I'm a licensed professional electrical engineer in the state of Louisiana. A little company overview here. Network USA is a regionally based telecommunications provider with a national reach. We're based out of Caron Crow, Louisiana, but we have sales and operations presence in Texarkana. We own and operate a 100% fiber optic network spanning over 3,000 miles in Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. And that's owned fiber, that's IOU fiber, that's lease lines, that's circuits that we bought through other providers, but we own, maintain, and manage. And we specialize in high availability data transport, internet and VoIP service. We offer private line service, including Ethernet, wave services, Summit, direct internet access. We also handle SIP trunking, post-SIP voice, PRIs, and SIP to analog. We were founded in '98 as a joint venture between a locally owned media company, Delta Media, and a microwave service provider. Primary focus until 2003 was as a reseller of services from AT&T, MCI, and Sprint, leased T1s, those types of things that we would provide to our client base. Our initial deployment of carrier Ethernet service began in 2006. We started rolling out 10 gig DWDM in Nortel here. We began upgrades to our 10 gig Ethernet service across all operator routes in 2009. And here recently, this year, we completed upgrades to our optical backbone for our network capable of delivering 4.4 terabits per second in 2017. We've got a solid technical team with proven industry expertise, unquestionable drive and dedication to providing the best customer quality of experience. And we pride ourselves on the low customer churn created by dedication to superior customer service. You'll see here a map of our backbone. All the dots represented here are points of presence. They could potentially be active POP or regeneration sites. You'll see where we've got presence in Dallas, in level 3 in Equinix data centers. We also have presence in the Baton Rouge and Shreveport at Venue data centers. We have an interconnection to the Equinix IHC in Dallas, which allows us a peering relationship with anyone you can think of, basically. So we can get you directly connected to all of the content delivery networks that you're using or your users are using. It's important for disaster recovery and backup, business continuity, and content and application delivery. Here's a shot of our current Texarkana Metro fiber network, which as we continue to win business in the area, we're kind of the new guys. So we're constructing fiber every day as I speak. We're constructing. We're keeping in mind both network resiliency and customer need as we plan our route. and we're actively looking for other POP locations in the area. Actually, our POP is located here at Cap Street, and built out since the winning business and constructing every day. A few things that'll differentiate us from the other providers here today. We own and operate a 100% fiber optic network. There's no copper, so that rolls into the reliability. And the network has been built to the most stringent specifications by some of the largest providers in the known world. We're supplying service to some of the large carriers, so we've built our network to support them, and that reliability is built into the network, and we're affording our business clients the opportunity to get on that resilient network. Timely restoration of service in the event of an outage. Problems are going to happen, and it's about how you respond to those problems, and you make sure that we keep you in business if in the event of an outage. We do some maintenance notifications prior to performing all scheduled maintenance. Keep you posted about when we're taking the network down if necessary. We understand that business continuity is important, and we need you to be on board with us as we upgrade and make our network better. You're going to get personal service from qualified technical staff. You're going to talk to the folks who are working actively on the network when you call in for an issue. We customize solutions based on the needs of your business as well. If you have a specific business need, we'll come sit down and talk to you, figure out how best we can serve you, and provide you that service. Our billing is simple, pricing is competitive. I don't think we have a 50-page bill. I think it's pretty simple, easy to manage, easy to get through. And Network USA is going to put your business first. Thank you for the time, appreciate it. And inquiries will go to sales@networkusa.com. Thanks.
All right, I'm sure you can't guess. We have Cole Kimberly from Cable One next.
Anybody want some cherry spark? You can stay amped. It's them sales emails.
Keep your hustle separate now.
I was like, really, I bought this and told everybody in my house if they touch it, I'm gonna kill them.
Is this the right one for Cable One? Yes. The only one that doesn't have the name. Is it?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the invite, allowing us the opportunity to get in front of you guys and gals and talk about Cable One and what we offer. My name is Cole Kimberly. I'm the Regional Account Executive for Cable One Enterprise Services. A little background on me. I've been with the company for 12 years. Started out as a field technician in Sherman, Texas, and transitioned through multiple roles from residential sales to sales engineering, and now as the Regional Account Executive. A little history on the company. Cable One is now the 7th largest telecommunications provider in the United States. We're headquartered in Phoenix, Arizona. We serve actually 23 states now, I believe, with high-speed internet service, our bellwether cable television, and telephone services. Any of you with any questions, concerns, anything you've got, save my contact information. I'm happy to talk with you anytime. This is what I do. This is what I love. As you'll see from my slideshow, I'm passionate about what I do, so I kind of speak extemporaneously about this stuff. I'm not very prepared. This is a map of our current service situation in Texarkana, just to give you an idea of our boundaries, where we service, where we don't. I tried to get it as big as I could so that you guys and y'all could see it. But currently, Cable One can serve approximately 48,000 locations in the Texarkana area. And we're constantly adding to it. Every day, my technical operations manager, Donald Fuller, and his team over there are actively pursuing new spots, new locations, underserved areas that we're not in. We are aggressively seeking those areas out. So if any of you know some of those areas or have some ideas for us, feel free to give me a shout, give Donald a shout, stop by the office. Our GM, David Wall, is more than glad to speak with you about it. So some of the stuff that Cable One's been doing in Texarkana and frankly across the company is to make our services more robust, more reliable, and give you better options as consumers. Number one being node splits. Cable One uses a hybrid HFC network, hybrid fiber and coaxial network. Fiber to the node, coaxial to service most locations. So what that does is it creates a sort of a pinch point, right? So what we're doing is we're splitting those pinch points up, right? Our main goal, our target, is to have 150 customers per node in Texarkana to alleviate any congestion issues. It creates packet loss, jitter, phone issues if you're using VoIP. So to eliminate those, or at least minimize and mitigate some of the effects there, node splits are a huge part of that. Fiber expansion into all these areas. We're expanding our fiber footprint. As we continue to win businesses, as Scott said, we're building out our fiber network just like everybody else is. We're looking actively at Texarkana as a market to launch some of our PON services. We have 2 markets now where those services are available, and I've offered up Texarkana as another market to offer some of those services. And that kind of rolls into the new products that Cable One's offering. Cable One's business services segment is fairly new. It's still in its infancy, as relative to most of the other players in the market. Cable One Business Services has really only been established for about 5.5, 6, 7 years maybe. So we're still learning what we can do and how we can do it better. We're still offering new products every day that some of these guys already offer, but we've kind of let the bugs, the kinks, everything get worked out of the processes. PRIs, SIP trunks, VoIP, hosted. I mean, those are some of the things that Cable One is looking at rolling out, and fairly quickly. We're fast tracking some of this stuff because most of us here are commercial users. We're really trying to service that segment very, very heavily. Want to end up with our gigabit offering. Cable One, within the next 3 to 4 months, will make Texarkana a gigabit city. Every customer in Cable One's footprint will have access to gigabit service to their door. All the things that we do have led up to this. The node splits, adding fiber to different areas, changing out some of our head-end equipment. It's to make this possible. Cable One already has 4 gigabit cities in our footprint, and we're going to offer gigabit service in 23 states before we're finished. To every consumer, residential, commercial, it's just going to happen. We're pretty excited about it. I hope the users are excited about it. It's a pretty cool deal to be a gigabit provider to every customer in your footprint. Again, Cole Kimberly and Cable One Business Services. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Thank you.
All right. Now for Windstream. Jonathan Oliver. Yes. Jonathan Oliver from Windstream.
All right, guys. There's a lot of, where's the, okay. All right. There's obviously a lot of slides there, but we're not gonna go through it. We're just kind of broad stroke over it. I'm Jonathan Olivares from Windstream Communications. I'm based out of Houston. Texarkana is one of the markets that I oversee, so I wanted to make sure that I get some time with you guys. I really, really appreciate the opportunity to have Windstream in here. And what I find out, you're going to learn this through this presentation really quickly, is for us to be a 100-year-old telecom company, people still say, I've never heard of Windstream. And we're 100 years old. So it's kind of one of those odd things for me when I'll go and sit in front of someone with John or Justin or some of the sales guys here, and people are like, oh yeah, well, who is Windstream? Well, just to kind of give you a little example of Windstream, right now as it sits last year, we did about $6 billion in revenue. Okay, we're a nationwide provider. Right now, we're operating about 150 sales offices in 48 states. So throughout those 48 states, there's even more that we can feed through our central offices or through our local operations. And as of last year, we had about 12,000 employees. That has grown by about 3,000 this year through some acquisitions that we made and a merger that we made with Earthlink. And you guys obviously know who Earthlink is. Mm-hmm. So Earthlink brought about 40,000 miles of fiber to our network, and we already had just under 150,000 in the U.S. So they brought that to us as well as over 1 million customers. So that their forte was in the consumer, true SMB market, and then that merged into our network, and it's bringing us to a new product that's actually going to launch here August 1st. So you guys will see that, because it's going to be something that's transforming the landscape for small business, and it's going to be a completely new way to look at cloud-based hosted products. Right now, as of 2016, like I said, there was about 125,000 fiber route miles and about 820 million in market cap. But one of the things that Windstream brings to you is we know that as a company, as an IT executive, you're looking for ways to transform your business. All right, as an IT executive, you don't look at costs, you don't look at savings. That's not what you do. Somebody else takes care of that. You know, you guys come in and put it together, make it work. What we want to do is we want to deliver you the landscape to do that, but make it affordable. So by doing that, we're able to kind of change the role and change the landscape of what an IT executive and a relationship between a company like Windstream looks like. So by doing that, we're giving you a strategic voice. So, well, we can't go back. But we're kind of giving you a strategic voice through some of the things that we bring to the table. Now, as a company, Windstream, what we're doing is throughout this year, we're looking at igniting growth. So we're going to ignite growth through network transformation, through investing in our local communities, and giving you guys the tools to succeed, and giving you guys the tools to come in and make things happen within the organizations that you work with. So all of these are going to be the way that we look at transforming our landscape with you guys. So we're going to help you grow revenue margin, increase productivity. Those are the two biggest things that a company looks at. So they look at you and say, okay, we need to make all this work, but we need to make it affordable, and we need to be able to make money on the backside. If you go in and say, hey, I've got something, but it doesn't really work, and it doesn't kind of fit the landscape of what we're doing, no one makes money if the business is not operating efficiently. So we've looked at all of this and come to the realization at the end, it's about economic compensation. What does a company do? What do they need? So now, throughout that, what we're doing is we're transforming, like I said, to serve you better. Our vision, directly from our CEO, is to provide best-in-class customer experience through our network and our people. So that is us in front of you, and that is a network that we're putting behind you. People typically look at Windstream and they say, oh, it's a DSL. Oh, I've had trouble with that. Or I've had trouble with this. It doesn't work. It doesn't. You know what, guys? In IT, you know that DSL is a best case effort anyways. It's best case. It's a consumer grade product. All right. When you deliver a consumer grade product to a business, you get what you pay for it. That's why it's $40 a month. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. Okay. So what Windstream has done is we transform that and say, you know what? We're taking a true SMB product to a dedicated atmosphere. So now if we deliver you a dedicated product, you have a more reliable, secure connection. And one of the biggest things that you guys can take out of this for Texarkana, going forward, a dedicated customer that orders a 20 meg or higher circuit with us, we're going to put it on fiber. All right. So the days of pulling copper are done. So if we can deliver that to a customer, it's affordable, and we can get it to them on DSL, we're going to deliver it to them. But you know what? That's an asymmetrical product. So that may be your 50 down and 10 up. So when you see that, you're getting a best effort case product, and we deliver that. So with us, we give you a dedicated product. We're now transforming the landscape. We're going to give you a symmetrical product and make sure that it's something that works for you. So here's a few things that are extremely important. This is very, very important. We live, work, and play in your community. We have everyone here from sales engineering, to operations, to admin. Everything is in your local community. You see us. You see us at football games. You see us at your kids' baseball games. You see that. We're in your community. So we take that mindset, and one of the biggest things that we've done over the past 3 years is we've invested $3 billion in our network. So that is something that's huge to us. Now, for Texarkana alone, just this year, we're passing the 760K mark just in Texarkana and investments into our network. Last year alone in Texarkana, we spent $1.57 million just to improve the network here. Now, not everyone is seeing the benefit of that yet, but as we continue to transform this, it will be available for everyone to see the benefit. Even in Texarkana, I hear this from John all the time, we have pockets here that are rough for us. We have some pockets that we understand that. Well, those now are being able to transform into our fiber to the prim properties, to where, you know, if we deliver something fiber to the prim, that means we're going to put an ONT there. So if we do it to a strip center and we plug fiber into that, that means that we're gonna be able to deliver fiber services to every person there. So that's where this transformation comes in. So those are happening throughout the rest of the year. This kind of gives you a little bit about our network, some of our latency expectations. Because you guys only see the local piece of this, you're not really understanding what's behind it. All you see is, hey, you know what? Vito's nail salon has DSL and it may not be working right. Okay? There's more to it than that. There's more behind what we're doing than that. So we want you guys to know that we have the strength of a nationwide backbone and a nationwide network that gets behind you guys, all the way down to the end user. So this is just a little bit about the end result, the transformation. So there's a whole lot of things that are coming throughout the next couple of months that you guys will be able to get a hold of. And this just kind of talks about what we're looking at. More fiber, more places, connecting more local data centers, more commercial businesses. So as we grow and transform in the Texarkana area, you're going to see us moving away from any of the copper-based services that are out there, and we're moving these strictly to an Ethernet over copper. If we can deliver a dedicated service there, or we're going to move those buildings on the fiber. So even if we're moving someone to an Ethernet over copper play, that's going to give you a symmetrical bandwidth. That's going to give you a dedicated circuit. That's what you want. That's what your customers want. That's what you guys want. Any vendors. That's what you're looking at. You're looking at a dedicated play. So that kind of wraps up a little bit about us, where we're at. Kind of gives you an overview. Recently, it just took place this month. Well, it was closed this month. I don't know if you guys are aware of who Broadview is. Broadview Communications. They're one of the nation's leading cloud-based IP providers, SD-WAN, and we recently purchased them. It happened last quarter. It just closed. So we purchased them. That added about $200 million to our portfolio. But it allowed us to now integrate a true SMB and a medium-sized product into our portfolio. So you guys will see that August 1st. You're going to see a huge transformation in some of the products that we're about to roll out, and they will be available here. So those products will be available here. And another thing that as Windstream we launched, we now have an IPTV product. It's not available here yet, but as we build the network, that's things that are rolling out. That's a UVerse type competitor. Okay, so we have that now currently in some of the other markets, and we just have to upgrade and move forward with that. So I really appreciate you guys' time. Thanks for letting me talk a little bit. So, you know, in sales, that's what we do. So if you guys need anything at all or have any questions, feel free to ask. You know, we're in your community, so you're going to see us. So thank you guys very much.
Okay, so we'll move into the question and answer section now. We had a lot of, what?
Yeah.
You won't be able to see him?
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, so we had a lot of feedback on questions, and we had to kind of go through and consolidate. We've gotten most of the providers to give some written answers that will be available to everyone after the session. But we're going to give a chance also for select questions, kind of go over and do some live, explanations. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of start going down. Just if you have any questions you think of, if we have time at the end, we'll get to those. If not, you can always ask, and we've got their email addresses, so we might be able to get an answer. So I guess the first question that I'm going to cover is related to the service level agreements, and that is for consumer and business services. What kind of an SLA? We'll start with you, Lane, on that.
So currently our SLA is really only on business class service. We don't have an SLA on residential consumer grade service. We have a 99.95. Talk to me.
Yeah.
99.95% availability. We've really actually had very little. It's kind of interesting coming from where we are. We didn't have an SLA for a long time because we really didn't have a request for it or a need for it, or I guess even a marketing thought that there would be something required. And when a customer asked us for an SLA, we started working on it. And it was a new customer, and so that's evolved a lot for us. We've had, I think, we've had zero claims against SLA since we started offering SLAs.
Okay. From TxkUG, Scott?
I guess first and foremost, at this particular time, we're not providing consumer services, so that part of the question is on the table. But for us, our business service SLAs are determined on a per contract basis, and the terms may vary per client. But from perspective of an Ethernet private line, we have 5 nines. It's a 99.999 SLA, and it's based upon service availability on protected circuits. So I guess that would be our SLA that we can speak of at this time.
So, as with the rest of them, currently Cable One doesn't provide an SLA for residential customers or SMB customers. Both of these products are delivered over coax using the hybrid fiber coaxial network. Our SLA terms, we do have an SLA in place for our dedicated circuits delivered over fiber, and like the other guys, it is customer specific. It would depend on certain requirements from the customer. We offer 4 nines uptime guaranteed in the SLA as well, but it would depend on per customer basis as well.
So again, on the consumer side, we don't offer any SLA on our DSL shared service. On our business services with our dedicated circuits, we do as well offer the 99.99 uptime.
It's probably good for me to point out, I didn't mention it earlier, but one of the things on consumer is that we know that consumer service is subpart of business, but one of the big reasons for it is a lot of people now work from home, and we need to make, in a lot of cases, it's making sure that they have the ability to work from home when they need to do that.
I think all of us, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but all of us, I mean, I don't want to speak for everybody, I guess, but most of us, if you have a home office and you have services because of that and you order dedicated circuits, then you're going to be a business customer. So even though it would be at a residence, we would still classify it as a business customer. Does that make sense? Does that kind of help out? So that's how we differentiate consumer and business. It doesn't really matter to us where they are, if it's at a house or a business.
Okay.
So then the next thing I want to cover with it, still with the SLA, is on who's responsible for monitoring. If you have 99.9% uptime, who's responsible for coming back and saying, you didn't meet the SLA, whatever is in the contract that needs to happen, needs to happen.
For us, that's negotiable. Because we're so small, our interaction with each customer is very, very personal. We talk to each one. Some customers, they're going to monitor. They want to monitor themselves, and we work with them, and that's fine. Some want us to do so. It's really negotiable for us.
Yeah, we're pretty similar on that. As far as if a customer's down, it's because of a cut, and we know. And in the event, I mean, that they do go down, then they can request credits from us, which, like I say, I mean, it's rare. It's in a cut, and if it's not already protected, it's very unlikely that it's going to go down. But if a customer's not happy, then we release them. We'll let them go. We're not going to hold somebody captive. So if they have an SLA and their service isn't working, which again is really, really unlikely, we would release them.
So from Cable One's perspective, both the customer and Cable One can monitor those circuits, and Cable One actively does monitor those circuits. We have a business NOC that's totally dedicated to our SMB and enterprise customers. We actively monitor those circuits 24/7. We receive notifications anytime a light flickers. We know about it. So it can be monitored on both sides, and more often than not is.
So ultimately, from Windstream, it's ultimately the consumer or the customer's job to monitor that. We do have things in place where we can see all of it, of course. With one of our services, if you have a managed router that we provide for you, it's 24/7 monitoring, and we stay proactive with every bit of it.
Okay. So on that, what you're saying is that with the managed router, it's that Windstream will monitor it?
Absolutely.
But it's not managed to customer?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to the topic of primarily around contracts and installation. If a customer does a contract for service and then running lines or other installation is required, who pays for the installation on that? Is it the customer that pays for it, or is it the provider?
In our area, we cover 99% of it. There is a small installation fee that we offer if we're not currently constructing down that road. If we don't have normally during a new construction phase on a new route, we offer free installation during the process just to kind of generate some sales and try to pay for the route. Once the route's been established, and then we go back later to do a new drop off of it. If it's just a simple drop, that's probably won't have an installation fee, but if there's, you know, a tap down the road and that sort of thing, then that may have a small installation fee. In our world, it's actually very small. You know, we don't ask for large agency construction. The largest installation fee we could have would be $370, and that would be if you didn't want to sign a contract. If you wanted to sign a contract, we would cut that in half. If it's going to be substantially over that, then it may just be outside our range.
Again, we're pretty similar. All of our builds are customer driven, so we build where we need to build based on who needs service. And so we have a small installation charge sometimes, depending on the contract length and depending on, basically what we do is we look at a situation. Okay, we have a customer over here, and it costs us however many dollars to build to that customer. And so we look at it as, obviously we don't want to rob you guys, right? We try to look at it, what makes sense for you guys, what makes sense for us, and how we can both mutually benefit from us building to you. And so sometimes we have minimal installation charges, sometimes we don't have any. In the event, like, you don't have conduit on your property to the right of way, that's one of the ways that we differ. A lot of times we'll go ahead and run the conduit for you. I mean, we're already boring it because we bury our fiber anyway. So if you don't have a conduit to the right of way, you're not going to have to go hire a big contractor. I mean, and I'm not going to say never, because there are certain situations where, depending on the property, who owns it, and concrete has to be broke up or something like that, you know, that may be a different situation. But most times we do what needs to be done, however it needs to be done for our customer. Does that make sense?
So Cable One, there's two separate scenarios. We have our SMB channel, which is those products are delivered over our TxkUG network. So the installation charges are normally a lot less and fairly standard, you know, $39.95, $99.95, you know, depending upon more often than not, and bandwidth options selected. Our dedicated circuit, our enterprise circuits, are completely custom built, so there is going to be some, you know, construction charges. Normally, the way I like to operate is to have those run through our ROI model and pass on as little aid to construction dollars, if any, to the customer. So it's mostly dependent on term and what the ROI model kicks back. We'll take a number of circumstances into account whenever we run these models. So there could be, normally, is zero to my customers. And if there happens to be some extraordinary construction, then Cable One does offer an amortization over the term of the contract at 0%. So there's not going to be any financing charges for you to roll that in your term. After the initial term is up, then we talk again.
So with Windstream, with our infrastructure backbone, there's little to no time where we usually have to incorporate build-outs. If a customer has a particular request where we insist on fiber, then of course we'll send it up, see what comes back, ROI, and we'll go forward from there. But again, like Jonathan said also earlier, anything 20 meg and up, we're going to be pushing fiber to it anyways. From a contract length perspective, and the big thing to remember with Windstream, you know, like Cole said, we'll amortize anything. If there's any kind of build out, we'll amortize it. That's just a standard for us. We're completely flexible. If your customer has zero capital dollars, great. We're the ones to check out. We'll look at it. We'll amortize everything. There's no interest, nothing like that at all, and we deliver. Contracts, like I said, we're flexible. We'll go month to month. If you don't want to do a contract, we'll go 1 year, 2 year. Our general standard is 3 or 5. So just kind of whatever your customer wants, whatever they need. We'll look at it and see if we can make it happen.
Kind of on a more political topic, net neutrality is a topic that's come back up again time and time, and it's one big hot button items lately. If anyone doesn't know what net neutrality is, you can Google it and you'll get a lot of competing answers. Yeah. But the question really from this is, what's the stance of your company on net neutrality?
I say we're neutral. As an independent phone company, we're used to operating in a regulated space. We're used to having lots of rules that we have to abide by. And frankly, it's not really a problem for us. We don't prioritize one internet traffic over another today. We don't block any traffic that's not illegal or attacking us. And so our consumers today, that's the way we think they should be operating. So I don't want to say I don't know what the fuss is, but largely for us right now today, we operate as if it's the way it is. And see no reason to change.
So from Network USA's perspective, as a private company, we're against the FCC regulating the ability of a provider to offer differentiated services. But as practice, Network USA does not. As I stated, we don't block anything, we don't prioritize anything. It's traffic as is for us. So.
Traffic is traffic.
Yeah, traffic is traffic.
So I'm gonna tread lightly on this one. I'm not gonna speak for Cable One as a company because that's above my pay grade. I will say that Cable One is against anything that's going to increase the cost to our customer. And at the end of the day, that's what the Net Neutrality Act is going to do. On the privatization aspect of it, Cable One does not prioritize traffic either. We will read and honor your prioritizations all day long. However, we're not going to take that into our hands and differentiate voice versus network. You know, that's your job.
As far as Windstream, I have the legal answer. That's all I can say, regardless of what my personal views are. All I can say is Windstream supports an open internet and values our customers' ability to access the world. We do not block or slow down any internet traffic, such as streaming or web browsing. Good answer.
Great answer, John.
That is directly from legal.
That's what legal said. Yeah.
This morning. So this is all I want you to say.
So you're going to start with you and everyone else just touch.
That's the thing.
Well, to kind of sum up what I just heard from all four of you is that y'all don't really care one way or the other about net neutrality. Your networks don't prioritize. Right. So that's kind of the answer all four of you gave. The next question that I have on here kind of as a high priority, I'll kind of covered with your presentations, and so all I'm going to ask on it is if there's anything additional that you want to point out, having heard the other presentations, on what makes your company stand out versus the other companies in the area.
I will say the answer.
And like I said, if the presentation covered everything.
Come on, let him speak. Let him speak.
Come on. You don't put all these telecom people in one room and give their skill.
From our perspective, the fact that we are definitely the smallest one on the table, right? And we are local. Everyone that works for us works here because that's where we are. I mean, we're a small local cooperative. Our members are our owners, and this is what we do. So if I were to say anything that differentiates us, it is that we're cooperative, and our process is member-driven. So similar to my SLA answer earlier, it was member-driven. One of our users said, this is what I would like for you to do, and so we sat down and figured out what we would need to do. So we focus on our users because they are members.
That was my answer. No, Network USA, I think what sets us apart is that we we really, really care about our customers. We want everybody to be happy. We don't do a lot of advertising or spend a lot of money, you know, with flashy commercials or anything like that. I mean, we put all of our money in our network. Our president and one of our owners is from Hooks, and he really cares about building out the Texarkana area and providing a service that's not only competitive, so you get fair pricing, but that it works. It really does work.
Is that really care or really care?
Really, really, really care. Like, I don't know, I can sleep at night. And I think that we have really happy customers. If you ask somebody about us, they'll say, and it works so good. Everybody knows what everybody is doing. We don't have a customer that everybody in our company doesn't know who they are, or we were involved in the install process. All of our stuff is buried. It's all fiber, and it works. Really good. Really, really good. So anyway, that's what's this stuff. Go ahead, go.
Yeah, you're gonna get more of the same from me. You know?
How do you follow that?
It looks like we're not all telling the truth.
Exactly. Yeah, the Cable One, at the end of the day, actually we all are, but Cable One at the end of the day, we don't have a business if we don't have a customer, right? All the upgrades, all the money that we spend, all the work that we do is based around delivering the best product that we can, the highest reliability, the most robust solution for your residential needs, for your business needs, for your customers' needs. And we offer the same local touch as everybody else. Now through the power of the top 10 United States provider. You have the capital, you have the resources, but you also get that local touch. We still operate through franchises in each one of our systems. So you'll have a local general manager, you'll have a local technical operations manager. They live here, they work here, they play here, just like everybody else. You'll see them at church, you'll see them at Jury Street. See you at Walmart.
So we really, really, really care.
That's fine. I get the fifth really. I get the fifth really.
I'll touch base. The biggest thing for me, and when I get to sit in front of customers and you all and talk is, and I'll go step back to the flexible piece. I mean, whether it's down to a build out, even delivering infrastructure, or whether it's I need to build out to put a phone system and break it down and amortize it, no capital expense, nothing like that. Whether we need to host your router, host your firewall, host your phone system, whatever you need. Whatever you need, we basically can be there, and we're very agile and again flexible in what we do and what kind of services that we offer. You know, we really, I'm proud to work for Windstream because we can run it for your customers, we run it for you all. We work with you all, which is really cool to me, where we can offer the product itself and you manage it. It's a hosted service, it's hardware of course, but you manage it for your customers and you remain the head person for them, right? But Windstream can ultimately deliver all of these, whether it's hosted or not, with no capital expense and at an affordable price.
Yes,
let me throw something in there. As I'm sitting here and I listen, one of the things when I'm in any other of my offices, whether it's Oklahoma, New Mexico, or Arkansas, you know, one of the things, even in Texas, that we can say here, you know, that we can say about Texarkana. When I say that we're here, we're a Little Rock-based corporation. So we have a huge campus in Little Rock. That's our corporate office. I can't say this in any other market. I can't say we're here. You know, we're here. We're 110 miles down the road. You know, not only is our corporate office there, but like these guys, we live and work in the community. So that's something that's big that we think sets us apart. You know, and we feel that that's something that should give us an edge you know, where we're at, because we're an Arkansas corporation. You know, we're partnered with, you know, and Texas is, you know, Texarkana is a cooperative city. So you can live and work on either side. It doesn't make a difference. So we think that that's something that really stands us apart. And we got John. So, you know, I've never heard anyone that says, God, I don't love that guy. So.
Yeah, that is true.
Wow. Lots of love here, not no competition. Come on now.
I think I was like, oh, I love John.
There you go. God, I hate to take this from you, John. I really do love you.
Yeah, right.
But we're going to go ahead and sign this deal. That's what you said. Go ahead and take this.
Okay.
Sorry.
So moving on from the non-technical stuff, getting to more of the technical nitty-gritty. One of the problems in the Texarkana area is once you get outside the city, it's coverage in a lot of places just kind of stops off. So the question for this is, what initiatives are you currently doing, or do you have on the horizon to help out with the rural customers? And I know when your company is mostly rural, but if you don't want to start on that.
So 90, rough statistic, 90-some% of our customers are rural. So our ongoing construction and everything we're doing is for that area. It's kind of hard for me to answer because really that's where we are today. You know, that's our day in, day out job. We do have, like say, a few small little areas in Texarkana and Hope that we're working in, but that's because we had to put cable there anyway to support something else that we were doing. Our market is the rural market, and that's where we work.
Well, I will tell you that there are some places that we are, a lot of people may not know. I mean, we're in Atlanta, Texas. We have a network there already, but we're building all over the place all the time. I wish I could just tell everybody everywhere we were building, but that would be crazy. If y'all want to know, call me and I'll tell you. But it's one of those things for our customers' privacy. We're not going to release a really detailed map and tell you what our plans are, like where we're building in the next couple of days. But we are constantly building all over, and we're going to be in some more rural areas soon, so we'll be in a lot of places. Does that sum it up?
Look for our trucks.
So,
the trucks.
Yeah, I mean, well, I gave a yellow towel to one of my guys, and he's wearing it as a bandana. It's my fishing towel, but it keeps them cool.
I mean, like the rest of these guys, Cable One's constantly putting resources in the ground or in the air. I mean, we're moving every day. I think if everything gets lined out like it's supposed to, we've got over $500,000 scheduled for next year for infrastructure expansions. That's not just improvements, that's expansions. We're constantly looking at areas, like I said in my presentation. If there's some pockets out there, if there's some spots out there where you think we need to be, or we should be, or there's a need there, let us know. I mean, we're more than happy to look at it. Donald, he'll get his guys on it. If it makes good sense, we'll build it. So let us know those things. But we're as well proactively taking a measure to get to some of those underserved areas as well.
So with just in Texas alone, we've got over 300 exchanges, and every one of these exchanges we have more rural customers than not. We've got several projects that are, let's call it off the record, meaning not public, that we're almost finished with, but it's in Harrison, Arkansas, and we're calling it Project Winter, and basically we're putting in more remotes. Basically shortened up loop links to 3,500 feet, and therefore allowing at least a 50 meg service over DSL. So that's one of the biggest things that we're doing. We're looking to bring that into those over 300 exchanges in Texas. As well as that, any new subdivision, and we're all around here, so take off to Redwater, you know, there's new subdivisions off of 67 there, off of Red Lick. All these new subdivisions that are coming in or that are having major issues, we have in the works where we're doing nothing but fiber to each home.
That gives you your gig products. So, and just to piggyback on that, what he's talking about, shortening the loop lengths, we're doing that. That is something that's going nationwide, that we're doing in phases. That's a part of the $3 billion that's being spent. So what we're doing is in our remotes and out of our central offices that we don't have the flexibility to they're not fiber fed. So what we're doing is to shorten those lengths. In layman's term, we're reverse feeding those remotes. So we're basically piggybacking them to other remotes to take them off of copper and put them on fiber. So then the customers that are being fed out of those remotes will now get a fiber fed remote versus a copper fed remote coming from a different direction. So that immediately boosts your speed, and it'll give us a huge increase in our footprint.
Will that allow you to have more subscribers on one particular remote for those areas that are concentrated?
Yes, because it exponentially increases the capacity. Because if they're being serviced on copper now and we move them to fiber, we're going to completely change out the cards in those remotes and give a faster speed out to those customers. So now I don't know technically, I'm not an engineer, so I'm a sales guy. That's just the way it was explained to me, and said this is how you need to say it. So that I can't do it, but that's just what they say.